today we have this new school of empowered, new generation Latinas that are building businesses, that are kind of stepping up to positions of leadership and positions of power. And you are at the forefront of that. So my question to you is, what does that mean to you, and what is the ultimate role of the Latina legacy in the business culture of America?
In my aspect, I would like to leave behind an easier path for my kid, for my daughter. I have 2 kids, and I know my son will be fine. But for my daughter, I want to leave. See? And this is where you touch me. I want to make sure if she has my shoulders to step up. And I know I'm doing that already because she goes, "Hey, Mom, what does a waitress do?" I was like, "She waits on tables and she helps the people order." "Oh, okay. And what does the owner of the restaurant do?" "He owns the restaurant and he runs and he gets to say what goes in the restaurant." "All right, cool, because I want to be the owner." I heard the owners don't get fired because they're the boss. That's right, mija. That's what they do. So I know I'm doing a good job. I know I'm paving the way for her. And if anybody wants to join the ride, let's go. Let's do it. I got grit and I'm hungry and I want to work. Our parents, they live to work. We're going to work to live and enjoy our money.
And what's ultimately a piece of advice that you would give another, motivated Latina like yourself that wants to start a business but feel like they shouldn't because they should be a housewife, or they shouldn't because they should conform to, what their families are telling them? How would you deal with that? What's the advice that you give them?
Open your mouth. Calladita no more. A lot of times they tell us, "Oh, tú no sabes porque tú eres esto." O calladita te ves mejor, right? We're not putting up with it anymore. Open your mouth. Say something. Say what you're feeling. And learn to deal with those emotions. Even though it's your family, it doesn't mean that they can be toxic.
From the conversations that I've had with a lot of other Latinos, and sometimes we feel guilty, sometimes we feel afraid, but I think the bigger, more powerful word here in the negative sense is that we kind of live with this culture of fear. Fear because of what our family will think. Fear because of what our community will think. Fear because of whatever we think, we're expected of us, and we're not doing that.
Yeah.
And, in a way, once you kind of cross the other side, then you realize you're kind of trailblazing and innovating within your culture. But crossing that chasm can be very difficult, and a lot of people will never actually get started. So how do you deal with that culture of fear? I believe has to be grounded into some sort of sense of identity or some sort of security. What is that for you? How do you power through the negativity, through the haters, through all the people questioning whether your business or not will be successful? Like, how do you tune that out and just focus on building your fucking business?
I don't think that I've had anybody straight up in my face tell me like, "You can't do it or you won't make it." It's more about actions. People who don't show up to my events, people who don't share my stuff, people who don't buy my products, people that are my friends and say that, "Oh, I'll be there," but they're not. I don't wish them any bad. I just move you out my way so I can move in my direction. I just have to keep going. I literally zone everything out because I'm so busy on my path. I don't even see you. Get out of my way. The people that are with me, I see them. They're there with me. Forget the negativity. Forget everybody else. And yeah, you're going to stumble somebody who's going to be like, "Oh, she's this and that, blah, blah." I don't care. Your words don't hurt me. If you were in my way and you want to join me, let's go. Grab your big girl panties and let's go. You want to learn from me? Let's go. Because if you're a Latina and you want to work hard, you're on my team, regardless of what you do.
I would love to hear your story. I would love to hear some of the learning, some of the challenges that you faced, but ultimately, like, what is that motivation that keeps you going every day?
Well, a lot of people don't know about me is that Flores by Alba is not my first thing. Like, I used to do pastry pink back in the day. I used to bake, and I baked for years. My dad was, like, my biggest force back then. And after that, I was like, okay, well, I got to have something else to pay for college. Fast forward, I lost my dad. I kind of went into, like, this big depression just because a lot of women don't talk about it, but postpartum was, like, big. I lost my father a week prior to having my child. So when he was battling cancer, she was growing inside my belly. Postpartum is a big, big thing that we don't talk about. It's a big depression. Ever since that, I said, you know what, I can't do bakery. I can't do it anymore. Once it started becoming repetitive and I didn't enjoy it anymore. And I was like, I can't I can't make something that I don't enjoy into a business, because then it doesn't become a passion. It just becomes a job, and I didn't want that to be it. A week after my dad died, I had my daughter. Postpartum hit really hard, and I spoke about it with my husband, and I said, you know what, like, I think I need therapy. I'm generation where therapy, you don't talk about it. You don't bring it home. Estás loca. You don't talk about your feelings to a stranger and yet pay them for it, you know? But no, I figure I needed it. I realized, like, damn, I was in a big hole. I was in a big hole losing my father and having my child during the same week. So it's like, what are you going to do with your life? You're this age and you're stuck. How are you going to raise a child? How are you going to be not married? Because if you're not married, it's bad, you know, all this cultural beliefs. Si no sabes cocinar, you're not worth it. Si no sabes cuidar a tus hijos a certain way that your parents teach you, you're not worth it. Or if you go to college, para que you're supposed to be a stay-at-home mom, you know. And I wanted more than that. I wanted to teach my daughter more than that. And I was like, you know what? No, it ends here.
Something that you said earlier that kind of stuck with me. You said there's always a way, and I think that statement sticks out very heavy in my conscience, because that's who I was. Just like you, when I was going to college, there was no DACA. I was undocumented. That was something that I learned the hard way, that there's always a way if you are willing to commit to finding it. And, you know, it's interesting because I know so many paisas who are undocumented, who are millionaires, who have very successful businesses.
Yeah.
My mom worked for one. She worked at a panaderia for over a decade. And the owners were undocumented, but they were making so much money, it didn't matter. Like, I'll never forget meeting the owner one day when he said, even if I got deported tomorrow, it doesn't fucking matter. I got my rancho, I got my house, I got all this that he's been building. And then you
wonder, how do you do it? Tell me, help me. I want to know.
I want you to tell me, how do you do it? How did you find a way? There is always a way, but I guess finding it is the difficult part. How did you do it?
I couldn't afford college. So I was like, okay, well, I have to make it. I have to find a way. I did. There's ways. There's always a way. And I found a way. But I went to college. I applied and I graduated. The first one in my family to graduate. So I go and I went to work at a corporate job as a cold call, calling people to convince them to come some insurance. I said, F this. This is not for me. I have an associate in fine arts. What the hell am I doing behind a phone call calling old people to sign up for insurance? What am I doing here? I quit. And I walk into this little village store. Shout out to Flores Gardenia with Leti and Teo, who I knocked them. I was like, I need a job. Are you hiring? I don't care what you do, but I need a job. She says, ¿sabes qué? Yeah. Se me fue la chica. I need somebody to come help me clean and sweep around, clean the flowers. I was like, all right, I'll be here. So once I'm there, I realized, like, damn, this is cool. A couple who's undocumented, who got 3 kids and are making it work in a storefront in La Villita. That's legendary. That's what we see. That's our people. I want to be part of that. I want to learn from her. So I started grabbing quickly. I'm a fast learner. So she's like, you know what? I got to go deliver these flowers to who knows where, super far. I got more orders to come. Here's a picture, the demo, how to do it. The flowers in the fridge, go for it. And I'm over here shitting my pants because I've never worked with flowers. I never knew. Okay, so I did a couple of them. She loved them. I took pictures of everything that I did, every work I did. I took pictures. Here comes winter. It slows down. And she's like, you know what? We're going to have to let you go. COVID happens. Everything shuts down. I got to figure something out. I start watching YouTube. So I start scrolling at Instagram. And I see balloon decors and birthday party parades. And because we're not having birthday parties, right? Well, of course, I go to YouTube. I start looking. How do I do it? What do I do with this? And I learn. And I learn by myself. Because if nobody's going to show me, I'm going to do it by myself. So we're a generation where we have everything in our hands. Everything in our palm of our hands. So I use it to my advantage. Go for it. Let me go ahead and learn. I get so many orders that May. There's a necessity for everything. If you don't do it, someone else will.
So who's your biggest hero?
My hero? The florista at the expressway, selling flowers. The person down in Little Village, have her tent set up with frutas. That's my hero. Because they're hard workers. You're not going to see anybody asking for money. You're going to see them selling something to you because they're trying to hustle. They don't want no give-outs. They want to work. Just like I want to work. Like just how you want to work. You know what I mean? That's my hero. Somebody who's hustling day by day, breaking the back, the paletero, the elotero. That's my hero. Somebody who's busting their back to make a coin so the kids could eat, so the kids could go to college. It's no difference. It's just a different generation. You know, it's not a year, it's our century.